All right, it's time to make this look pretty. Right now it just says choose files, and it's pretty unstyled. It's the default browser styling. Let me take this moment. Listen to me very carefully. I'm going to show you how to do this because I think some people are going to attempt it on their own, and I want to give it my best shot to let you be the judge of what you need. But hear me out. Use the native input file. If you can, use it. Please use it. You're never going to come up with something more accessible, simple, and bulletproof as the native input type file. Everything else is going to add complexity to your life and potentially pain to your users. You might get your fancy little, nice shadow or whatever you want, but just put aside your like ferocious hunger for aesthetic purity for 1 minute so that you can build something that is rock solid and bulletproof and works all the time and save your clients or save your boss a ton of money of you fiddling around with this. Okay? There's my rant. Now I'm going to show you how to make it look sexy. Okay? Okay. Yeah, check this out. See, tab, 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 tab. Totally accessible. Every screen reader can handle this. Making this sexy, it comes at a cost. So let's begin. Okay. We are going to comment out our little change button, and let's comment out our input file. So let's leave that. Okay. So here's the new change button. Let's move this to somewhere else in the DOM. Okay. Refresh. And now here's our ugly upload file thing. And then here's our sexy change button. Why does it still look bad? Whatever. Okay. Here is a technique. Here is a hack. Are you ready for this hack? The label hack. Check this out. If you create a label, let's say for file, and then this is going to have the ID of file. Say, hey, okay, refresh. If you click hey, or just hey, it is going to be as if you clicked on the input file, right? This is how labels work. You click on them, and oh my gosh, did I forget to add that? Okay, you click on the label and you get it there, right? That's how it works. So what you can do is actually hide this input file with CSS, style this label like a change input button, and get the same behavior, right? So let's do that. Instead of this being a button, let's turn it into a label and make it fake, pretend to be a button. How do we do that? We'll add cursor pointer so that we have a button cursor when we hover over it. And then the label is going to be for file. So let's add that. Okay, now we can get rid of this label. And let's just see it right now. So if we refresh and we hit change, bam, it actually opens that. So we can, let's do it. Let's add class equals hidden. Okay, refresh. And now we click it and there we go. So it does work. So this works. You just witnessed it. You saw it work. This is not good. You cannot stop here. I refuse to let you stop here. If you are using a screen reader because you're visually impaired, or if you're just using a keyboard, this is my little accessibility smoke test. Is your thing accessible? Most accessibility problems in my experience are people messing with file inputs or pulling in libraries that didn't do well making them accessible. So you should be able to hit tab and go to everything you need to interact with on the page. Tab. Oh crap, what happened? I completely skipped this input. If I do tab, 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 right? Not good. Not good at all. I can't use this if I don't have a mouse. That is a deal breaker. So one little hack we can do that we're going to do right now, we can say SR only. This is going to be screen reader only. Now, you can use this in a bunch of different ways, but this is actually a perfect use case for it, I think. Again, accessibility is this like crazy deep thing that I'm not an expert on. I'm not claiming to be. I am just a web developer who tries to make things, I know the basics of make it usable with a keyboard. That's pretty much my accessibility standard. Use semantic HTML, whatever. Okay. So we have this input type file, SR only. Because it's SR only, look at, instead of being display equals none or visibility hidden, it position absolute, width 1 pixel, margin -1 pixel, overflow hidden, clip rectangle. This is CSS wizardry to hide something on a page without actually hiding it in the normal CSS ways so that a screen reader will see it perfectly well. Because screen readers are smart. They'll be like, if this is display none, they'll treat it as display none. So SR only is a fantastic little utility in Tailwind that you can use to make content screen reader only. Or anytime you need to hide something, and in our case, you want to keep so now if I tab, check this out. I'm tabbing to this invisible input element. So if I'm in here and I hit tab once, look it's like it's highlighting something we can't even see. If I hit tab again, we go to cancel. Okay, so we're getting there. So I could tab to this invisible thing. I hit tab, now I hit space, and now it does work. So we can use it with a keyboard. So this is a little bit better. But we don't see our focus ring. That's the next problem. And the reason is because a label tag forwards its focus to the thing it is for. So no matter what, normal browser label focus stuff is just kind of broken for what we want to do. It's not going to work for our hack. So we're going to have to hack even further. So let's take this input, let's put it side by side here. And what to do? Let's wrap all of this inside. We're going to use Alpine. So let's wrap this in a div. Okay, so we're going to use Alpine, X data, and let's create a piece of data called focused. Okay. And we're going to set it to false by default. Oops, false. Okay. And now this input element, we're going to listen for focus. And when it's focused, we're going to set focused equal to true. And when it's blurred, so when it loses focus, we're going to set focused equal to false. Okay. So now we have a focused Boolean that we can use anywhere while it's focused. So maybe I'll just demonstrate this to you. Let's say x text equals JSON dot stringify focused. Okay. Refresh, and now it's false. Okay. Now we focused and it's true. We tab away, it's false, true. Okay. So we have focused, we're doing well. We now want to add all the focus styles that Tailwind does. We need to fake it. So if we look inside the classes for this label, this button here, there's all of these focus styles. So here they are. They start right here, focus, and these are the focus styles. So let's kill those focus styles, and we're going to fake them because we can't use CSS. We're going to use JavaScript. So we're going to bind. This is X bind, or you can use a shorthand. It's up to you. I'm going to use a shorthand for now. But I don't know did I put this in the clipboard? Yes, I did. Okay. So bind class, and then we're going to use the object syntax to basically, we're going to remove this focus here. Oops, focus, do. Okay. And now we are only going to toggle those classes when this is focused. Okay. Now if we refresh, we're highlighted here. We hit tab. Ooh. We hit spacebar. It works. Ooh. We hit tab. There we go. We have an accessible, generally accessible file input. I believe this is pretty good. I believe this is sort of good enough. I imagine there's some gaps here. I should probably have an aria labeled by tag, an aria role tag. There should be other tags here that I am not addressing right now. And I guess it's out of the scope of this video. I hate to do that to you, but go look it up yourself, please. And maybe even pull request to Surge how to make this a little bit more accessible. But I will say that I believe this is generally good enough. So the accessibility police are going to come down on me hard, but I think we did pretty good. I think we did better than, just a couple of schmucks hacking a label tag and not doing anything about it. So there we go. We have an accessible thing. It now looks pretty. Let's make sure this thing works. We change headshot to something else, and it fails because I have some leftover baggage from the last. Yeah, where's my baggage? Temporary URL. New avatar, temporary URL. Call to member function, temporary URL on array. It's an array, probably because I have multiple in here from the last episode. Oh, what a fool. Let's try this again. Okay. And now there we go. We have a nice looking file input. You could add an SVG. You could do your thing, which is cool. So there we go. Actually, before we sign off, why don't we abstract this into its own little input thing? So kind of like we did before, like we have X input, rich text. Let's have X input avatar. Let me make sure I'm not messing with different things. Okay. X input.avatar, wire model, and this is going to be new avatar. And then let's just stick with that and see if we can do this. Also label. Yeah, we can stick with this. Oh, okay, because this label we want to use So let's do this. ID photo, okay? And now we're going to extract this into a new file called avatar. So let's do that. We have components and input, and now we're going to create a new blade file called avatar.blade.php. And we're going to shove all this in there. And this goes right along with my philosophy of like, put this input stuff, especially stuff that's got a bunch of Alpine stuff, keep it inside of these reusable blade components. I would even do this if I'm not going to reuse it. Like avatar probably isn't going to be reused anywhere. You know, eventually we might have like a file upload one or whatever, but avatar is showing a photo preview, so I'm going to kind of leave it as that. But oh man, I'm thinking thoughts of like, maybe I should make this a generic file upload, but whatever. We're going to leave it as avatar for now. We're going to implement it and make it work, but this goes to this, you know, like look at how clean this is. Oh, it's so clean. I love it. Okay. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? We have xinput.avatar. We want to forward wire model, right? So we have to do that attribute forwarding. So where we're doing wire model here, let's get rid of this and let's attribute forward. So attributes, and we're also forwarding the ID. So we don't need that anymore. But then we are actually using ID. Should ID be a prop? We're using ID. Where are we using it? Oh no, we have 4. Yeah. We're not, okay, this is great. So this should all work. Let's see if it works. Refresh, and it does not work. Undefined variable, new avatar. The problem is, this is a blade component. It does not receive scope. So here is a question. Maybe we turn this into a slot. So what if we do this? What if we make this a slot, and then this whole bit here, yeah, I like this. Then this whole bit we will extract into a slot. So let's pull this out like so, and then we'll get rid of this self-closing and turn this into, okay. So now this should work because it is a slot. It should have access to new avatar. And then we're echoing out our slot. Okay, so let's see if this works. There we go. It does work. Now I like this because what we've done is we've made this work so that this can be a generic input dot file upload. And then this could also be, so let's say input dot, where is this? Where am I? Avatar. It's going to be file upload, right? And then, oh my gosh, life is so good. You could do this. You could do multiple and it would forward and it would work. Oh man. And then this is our little extra space to do our thing here. So, whoops. What did I do? Why doesn't this work? This should work, right? Oh man. Oh, why doesn't this work? Did I miss something? Didn't it work a minute ago? File upload, right? Profile. What did I do that changed this? It's called input.fileupload. I called this, oh, wait a second. It's not .blade.php. There we go. I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins. I just panicked there for a minute. All right, there we go. So we are good. We have file, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. Okay, so clearly we're crossing some wires with the ID and the 4, right? So if ID is photo, this 4 needs to be photo, right? So we should get this, let's say attributes ID, right? And then we should always be passing in an ID, so I'm okay if it fails, okay. Now let's try this again. There we go. We are working now. Oh, thank you for bearing with me. We can upload the temporary changes. We can save. We have stupid validation on there. Whatever. Okay, there it is. We have made it pretty. I'm proud of it. The next step is to use FilePond. That's the final frontier. If we just say F you to all of this native input stuff and we use a JavaScript library, which I'm not necessarily condoning. I am a big fan of keeping things as simple as possible for as long as possible. But I'm not going to lie, FilePond is fantastic. So we're going to look at it in the next video. Stay tuned.